All right, here's a look at your hourly forecast, and notice we're going to keep those clouds, and then as we make our way into the overnight hours, there's going to be a couple of thunderstorm icons that are starting to appear. So most of the day, it's going to be dry. Can't rule out maybe an isolated shower or two in the afternoon, but as you can see, it's really not going to arrive here until much later into the evening. So we're going to be talking about that in the meantime, but for right now, here's a look at what we've got. Clouds, it's going to be warm today, potential record warmth once again. And I'll show you, we did have a record in both locations, both back in 1950 on this day. The record for Fort Smith was 80, forecasted highs are around 80, so we may get close to tying that temperature. But for Fayetteville, it was 74. I think we're going to easily beat that based off of the temperatures that we're expecting by the time we get to this afternoon. Current temperature is already in the 70s, ranging anywhere from the lower 70s into the upper 70s, lower 80s right now in the River Valley. So it's going to be a warm afternoon. As you can see, highs are going to finally top off right around the mid-upper 70s, Northwest Arkansas, upper 70s, lower 80s in the River Valley. Later tonight, talked about the rain and thunderstorm potential. There is a low end risk for severe weather. This is the lowest outlook that the Storm Prediction Center gives. It's a 1 out of 5. It covers all of our area, and it's mostly for the potential of maybe a couple elevated storms with a hail potential. That's talking about quarter, maybe $half sized hail. Not everyone's going to see this activity. Also can't rule out maybe some 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. There is a very, very, very low end risk for potentially an isolated tornado or two. So it's low, but it's also not zero. So that's just something to highlight there. Overnight tonight, that's when we're going to see the rain and thunderstorm potential. Starts basically right around after 10 o'clock. It continues into the overnight hours. We're going to see that cloud coverage keeping us from getting too cool tomorrow morning. We're going to start off in the 60s with the rain potential. And then tomorrow afternoon with the clouds, with the rain, all of that, the highs aren't going to be all that much higher than they were with the lows in the morning, right around the mid-upper 60s, lower 70s due to all that rain activity that we're expecting. It's going to continue Thursday, dips down by the time we get to midday Friday. Weekend looks pretty good, and then we have more rain chances on the way early next week. So here's a look at Futurecast. And you can see most of the day today, we're dry. It doesn't really arrive until, like I said, after 10 o'clock this evening, overnight into tomorrow morning. 6 o'clock in the morning, keep in mind these models are not perfect. It's just kind of what we could expect based off of their runs. It's going to be impacting most likely your morning commute tomorrow. So you will want an umbrella, the jacket, anything like that for the morning commute. And you'll want to keep that either in your car or with you throughout the day just because it's going to come in waves. It's not going to be all day that we're going to see this rainfall activity continuously. We'll have a wave in the morning. We'll kind of have a couple different waves in the afternoon into the evening. Some of this may produce some heavy rainfall, maybe some lightning, maybe the occasional gusty winds, but it's not expecting widespread severe weather or anything like that. Rainfall, we're expecting anywhere between 1 to 4 inches. Some of us could see some localized amounts of higher, but that's going to be for areas that see repeating areas of rain over and over and over, or what we call training activity. So right around the 1 to 4 mark looks pretty good for the rainfall totals. Then, beautiful weekend. Finally feels like November. The temperatures are going to feel like November as we head into early next week as well. And then we got another system that arrives, bringing us more rain and thunderstorm potential. And when I say thunderstorm, it doesn't mean severe weather. It just means that it's just that time of year where there's a little bit of instability. Can't rule out a couple rumbles of thunder. It looks a little bit turbulent going forward. The good news is the weekend looks pretty pleasant. And then for your Friday night football, I don't think it's going to leave that much of an impact for those games in the late afternoon into the evening. It looks like it's going to finally kind of just fizzle out by the time we get to midday Friday. Looking forward to the weekend just because it's finally going to feel like fall, and then we got more rain chances next week.
Yeah, cooling down a little bit too, it looks like, Monday, Tuesday.
Oh, yes. So finally going to feel like November after all these record temperatures. It's not terrible, but it's just unseasonable. So we're talking about Thanksgiving next week, and then we got Christmas, and then you hear Christmas music, and it's 85, 88 yesterday, then it doesn't really feel like that.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Josh.